Hi everyone, welcome to this video, and today's video is going to be about self-love, and I'm going to just talk about something that I actually got to learn about recently, which I actually found very helpful, or a very new way to look at how does one actually love themselves, because I think this is a very hot topic. It is everywhere because all of us know that okay, we got to love ourselves. So any problem that we facing in our life, be it the confidence problem, या फिर any problem, money problem, career problem, relationship problem, oftentimes when we search for answers, solution on the Google or in the blogs, the conclusion always comes down to learn to love yourself, become love, respect yourself more, uh, like bring the change in yourself first, because as it goes that you attract people, you attract career, everything. So there's all of us know that okay, I get to love myself, that is what I have to do. But then we often stop at how does one love themselves, because it is not something that you can fake. And oftentimes we confuse it with a feeling that loving myself is a feeling that I get to have. But then how do I trigger that feeling? How am I going to feel love for my own self? And so it becomes a lot more confusing, and oftentimes we end up giving up that okay, it's just like ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है, it's all to say, like it's very fluffy part, loving yourself and all of that. And I would say I have been there, so much confused about okay, we know that okay, we gotta love ourselves, but how does one do that exactly? What are the steps? And so today's video is going to be about that. And I'm not going to give you steps definitely, but I'm going to present to you a different angle of looking at okay, how does one exactly love themselves, and the main most important part of what does loving yourself mean and what you have to do. All right. So yes, so I am a life coach, and I help people develop a healthy relationship with themselves. I help people become confident in themselves, become self assured in who they are, so that they feel comfortable enough in being themselves in front of other people, and they feel good in themselves. So that is what I do. And if you are new to here, you can join my free WhatsApp community that I have. It's called Self Love Space. If you want to join it, I will give the link in description. You can join it. So let's start. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is how to love yourself. So I gave a little bit of context why it is important or why I'm talking about it. And other than so I also like to call myself as a self-love coach, because when I say that I help you develop a healthy relationship with yourself, my work is around helping you develop a foundation of self-love within you. But here's something that I learned, and it stayed with me. It stayed with me because it made real sense. It really made a lot of sense. So when it comes to loving yourself, it is not about gaining something. It is not about like self-love is out there somewhere and you have to bring it in. No, you don't have to chase something, do something, or bring something new in your life. No, self-love is just removal of self-criticism or of self-hatred, the strong dislike, the strong disapproval that you already have within you. So I'll repeat again. So self-love is simply you eliminating or processing, working upon the opposite force that is already within you. Because when self-love is not there, there's definitely something else. Because that space is never going to be empty. So you're always believing into something. So when there's not self-love, that is when you're not believing into an empowering version of yourself, when you are not believing that you're worthy enough, you're definitely believing into the opposite, that you are believing that I'm not worthy enough, I'm not good enough. Which means that right now, the fact that you want to have self-love, the fact that you are desiring that okay, I want to love myself, the fact that you have so many problems in your life, that you're struggling with maybe relationship, or you just don't like the person that you are. So when you look yourself into the mirror, the you don't like that thing. So that is the biggest thing. I would never say that approach or approach this work where you work on yourself, where you work on your inner self, to have a healthy relationship with yourself, just so that you can have a beautiful career or relationship. I mean, to have those external things, but first to prioritize your own self, that I want to do this work because I believe that I deserve love, especially love that I have offered to my own self. And that is the base, that is the foundation, that is actually creating the life that you have right now. Okay. So Yeah, so I was talking about that when right now you do not have self love, your the foundation, the core that you have right now, it's not empty. There is something already present there, and you know what it is. It is self. It's a self-critical voice. It's judgment for your own self. It's those question or blame that you do, self-blaming, questioning that why am I this way? Why did this have to be happen with me? Why do I look this way? Why couldn't I be just like them? Why was I born this way? So much self-hatred, so much dislike, so much disapproval for the self. So when it comes to developing self-love, when it comes to you learning, okay, how do I love myself? Don't worry, you don't have to do something. There's not like, so self-love is not something that's flying, outer in the space and you have to gain it, you have to get hold of it. It's not a new concept that you have to learn about. All you have to do is you have to go within your own self, look at and confront what is already present in you, which is self-criticism, judgment, that hatred, that dislike, that strong emotions and feelings that is already present in you, that energy, and processing it so that you can let go of that. And this process, in this entire process, the more you are able to let go of the negative feelings, the more you will be able to create space for that new empowering or positive or love for the self. So you don't, when it comes to self-love, stop focusing upon that, okay, let me be more positive. Do I need to affirm, or do I need to practice all these affirmations? Because personally speaking, affirmations, I've never found it helpful for myself, because it always felt like a scam, like a lie, that what am I doing here? Because it feels like it feels like I'm lying to myself, and you do not develop new beliefs like that. For new beliefs to actually happen, for you to actually instill a new belief in your body, it would demand some evidence. It would demand you to be really convinced about that belief. Only then it will solidify in your body. All right, so it is not just your mind work, it also involves your body. Because what is affirmation? Your mind understands that, okay, I need to affirm this, but your body rejects it, because your body needs evidence. It gives me the proof that this is true. So here, if you are here practicing an affirmation like I love myself, I am good enough, I'm worthy of money, all of these things, but if you do not believe into that, if all the evidences that you have till date has always been against it, and you're just trying to do this work, you're not willing to look into those evidences which are already present. If you're not willing to look at, okay, what is already within me, what are my current beliefs about my own self, what are my current thoughts about my self-worth, about money, but you just focus on practicing affirmations, or trying to instill a positive mindset, trying to forcefully sit for meditation. So forceful work, I never preach. I would never say that do that, because personally never worked for me. And I always believe that be honest to your own self. If a resistance is showing up, then instead of running away from it or trying to ignore it, like suppress it and still go with the action, look into that resistance, get deeper into that resistance, ask it what it is. So that is what processing is about. So coming back to the new perspective that I gave you, that self-love is simply you working on to let go of the opposite force that you have, that is to let go of the self-hatred, to let go of the self-criticism that you have. So now how do we do that? That is the next question. So the beautiful part is that you don't have to wander, you don't have to find something out there. So it's all within you, all right? And that is why the journey to love yourself is going to be individual to everybody. The journey is going to be different for every individual, because where you are right now, so maybe the destination is self love, but the game changer or important thing is that where am I right now? Some people would be here, but some people would be here. So no, I mean, same solution is not going to work for each or for everyone. It's individual to all of us, because it involves you going deeper into your own self, finding out, okay, what is present in me right now, what am I believing into right now, what are my thoughts, feelings about my own self, about my career, about my relationship, about all the things, about the world. That is where we start. And the fact that you do not have a foundation of self-love, the fact that you have a foundation of self-criticism, it means that you will have a lot of distorted, a lot of unhealthy beliefs that that would make you feel very like scared. I mean, it would feed a lot of fears in you, that the world is a very scary place. Nobody understands me. All of these beliefs are going to be there, that I'm not good enough. Everybody else is perfect. Their life is perfect. They are blessed. So the thoughts that you will have, they are going to be very distorted and unhealthy. And that is why we try to find it out, because we have to work there. We have to let go of those thoughts and beliefs. Only then we can bring in, or only then we can think of doing work, of taking action, so that we can create evidences that make me believe into myself in an empowering way, in a different way, so that I get a chance to explore myself again, so that I can have newer, positive, empowering beliefs about my own self. So the main work is about letting go of the self-criticism, self-hatred, that foundation that I already have within my own self. And how do you let go of it? First is definitely you need to become aware of what is within me right now. Second is processing. When I say processing, it's about doing the inner work. It's about finding the origin of all those thoughts, beliefs, and then coming from a place of understanding, using this thinking brain. Because here's something I want to tell you, that the beliefs that you have right now about yourself, about the world, about everything. So what happens is, these beliefs are formed when we were very small. When we were children. That is a time when this brain is just forming. So our brain is developing at a very rapid stage. So our neurons are in a development phase. So we are just learning. So that is why our learning growth is so high as when we are children, because our brain is just developing. So what are the beliefs that you're carrying right now? Maybe if your dominant beliefs are like, I'm not good enough, I'm good for nothing, I'm useless, there's not one thing I can do right, and I'm not lovable enough, I'm not capable enough. So you doubt yourself, that can I do this thing? I'm prone to make mistakes. No matter what I do, I'll make mistakes. So all these thoughts, you were not born with these thoughts, right? You were not born with these beliefs. Where are these beliefs coming from? You have learned. So you have instilled these beliefs based on the experiences, events that happened with you in the childhood, the way you felt growing up. So the fact that you have such beliefs right now, it means that when you were growing up in your childhood, you felt that way from your environment. So certain things happened wherein you made the conclusion, wherein the child you took a decision, that the fact that these things are happening, the fact that no matter what I'm doing, I'm making a mistake, or if I'm doing anything, this one person constantly criticizes me, tells me that how I cannot do things right. So you make a decision that it must mean that I'm not good enough. It must mean that I'm not capable enough, that I can't do things right. Because as a children, you can only feel. You do not have the capacity to think that maybe this person keeps criticizing me because they are a person like that. So it is not about me, but it is about that person. They have a habit of criticizing everybody. So we don't have the capacity to think like that, which is a reality. So back then as children, we make it about ourselves, and we take a decision which over time becomes a very dominant belief of ours. And because we are unaware of all these things, we cling to those beliefs and keep living a life with the same decisions, with the same beliefs. But the fact that you are here right now, it means that you have the awareness at least now. So self-love is not about it's not about learning something that's kept secretly. It's not something very alien to you. You just have to let go, look within you and let go of all the unhelpful, limiting beliefs and thoughts that you have that is not helping you. And beliefs can be transformed, can be changed. You can always let go of some certain beliefs and bring in new beliefs. Definitely it will take time, but I want you to take this with you, that beliefs can be changed, because the beliefs that you are believing in right now, that you're buying in right now, you pick them up, right? You develop them also, you absorb them from your surroundings. So definitely you can always work upon it and bring in new beliefs. So when we are talking about letting go of the that self-love is letting go of what is present right now, that is letting go of the self-hatred, the strong dislike, the disapproval that we have. So herein comes a very important concept, that is, I think, the base, the foundation of letting go, or working about, okay, how do I let go of what I have right now? It's called self-acceptance. And I think acceptance is a very, very beautiful concept, but at the same time something that really confuses one, because we cannot see, okay, how do I accept myself? There, it's not a action thing, that okay, there are certain steps that you get to take and then you're done. Yeah. So I was saying that self acceptance is a concept that often confuses people. That, okay, I understand that I got to accept myself, to love myself truly, but it feels very hard to do that. I mean, I feel a lot of resistance in doing that. And even if I'm saying that, okay, I accept myself, or even if I want to, I don't know that if I've done that ever. I mean, if I'm actually doing that or not. So, and a lot of people often come up with this, question that if I accept myself in the present, as how I am in my present version, wouldn't it mean that I stop growing, that I would always remain the person that I am? So a lot of questions are around this concept, and so here's something that a new perspective about looking at self concept that I want to bring in. And I think self acceptance is very powerful, even though it feels difficult, but it is very powerful. And I think it is something that you need to sit with, so that, I mean, it would, the more you sit with this thing, the more you sit with your conscious decision that I want to accept myself, the more it would seep into your body, the more you would feel it, the more it would, strengthen in yourself. So it's not a one day thing that we do, but a conscious decision that we do, and we choose to stick with it. So here are certain things that I want to talk about self acceptance. So first is that self acceptance is powerful because it does not demand you to become someone, or to do something new, or to change anything about you. So that is, that thing that is very much powerful about self acceptance. Because I think when it comes to self development, personal growth, there are two parts. Just like it's because there are two parts to it. For like, one is like feminine side of it, and then another one is masculine side of it. And how I like to look at it is that, so to personal growth also there are two segments. One is self acceptance, understanding yourself, forgiving yourself, loving yourself. These are very much inner work, belief work, something that we cannot do in the physical reality, something that does not require us to put in an energy in the physical reality, but inner work, something that we need to process, somewhere, something that where we need to sit, where we need to give ourselves the time and space, where we need to reflect. And the other segment is taking action, challenging yourself, bringing in discipline in your life. So taking challenges and putting in conscious efforts in the physical reality also. And if you, and oftentimes what happens is, when we do not have self acceptance, we only practice the masculine side of self development, personal growth, that okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put all my effort into this, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to this is my goal, this is where I want to reach. But one thing that we forget is that if you practice this masculine side of growth, or all of these things, without self acceptance, without self love, it's like you are definitely doing the thing, but it is coming from a place of fear, from a place of toxic motivation. And that is why, even if you would notice that, even if you, first is that it would feel very difficult, very hard, the journey would feel very difficult to reach your goal. And even if you do reach it, it would not feel sufficient, it would still feel not enough. And hence you will set another goal, you will continue following on that goal, on the journey, from a place of fear, from a place of toxic motivation, that I need to do this, only then I will be acceptable, I need to do this, only then I will feel happy in myself. So I'm not content in who I am right now, but I have put a goal post where I need to reach, so that I can feel good enough. So this is one thing that happens when we do not practice the feminine side of self development or personal growth. So that is what makes this part so much important, so much significant. Because without it, this masculine side also does not bring a lot of change in life. So growth, maybe you accomplish growth in your physical reality, but internally you are left feeling the same. And right now we're talking about practicing this feminine side of personal growth, wherein self acceptance is one of the beautiful things, because it does not require you to do anything, it does not require to become something else. So it's about you bringing your attention back to where you are right now. It demands you to bring all your scattered energy back to where you are right now in the present moment. Sit with yourself, look at yourself, acknowledge who you are, how you are, where you are, and making peace with it, accepting it, acknowledging it, not running away, not feeling this desperate energy that I don't want to be here, no, this is not right, I just want that, I want to reach there, I want to make more money, only then it will be I will be happy, I want to look this way, I want to lose this much weight, only then I'm going to accept myself. These goals that you have, these desires that you have, up until now it is coming from a place of very much desperation, from a place of fear, from a place where I will reject myself unless I reach there, until I'm reaching there. We want to change this. We want to change the place where we are coming from. The work we can do anyhow. And once you practice the feminine side of personal growth, once you are able to accept yourself, you will take the same action, but it will come from a very different place, and that will also create the difference in the kind of action that you take. So and that changes the whole thing. So self acceptance is very much powerful, and I agree that okay, it feels very difficult in the beginning, that if this is one thing that I'm so desperate to change in myself, this is one thing that I've made a goal that I want to be there, this is where I need to be, then how can I accept it? How can I just be like integrated into who I am right now? How can I be at peace with it? But that is the part, and try doing it. So now let's come back to, and because it is very much powerful, so next let's come to how do you practice self acceptance. Now I understand that it feels very intangible. How do we accept ourselves? And even though I told you that what it actually means, it means that coming back to the present moment and acknowledging how you are right now, not fighting against it, just being in it, making peace with it. And when you do this, the triggers would stop happening, because जब तक self acceptance नहीं होता है, it's like we have given away our power, or there is a wound and which is open to everybody. Anybody can come in and touch it and trigger it. So it's like we are very much open to be triggered. But when you practice self acceptance, that trigger intensity reduces. You're no more open to be triggered very easily. Now let's come back to the and I think one more thing that I would like to share about self-acceptance. Self-acceptance, I think it's about how powerful it's about, you realizing how powerful you are in yourself. Because oftentimes the insecurities that we have, the goals that we have, what, I need to be there, I need to be here, I need to be at this much weight, my body needs to look this much, I need to make this much money. Only then I will feel good in myself. Oftentimes those goals, those desires are coming from outside world. Oftentimes our desires are, okay, I need to be this way, only then I will feel good about myself, only then I can feel confident in my own self. Those goals are coming from the external world, from what the society has made us believe, that this is the standard format, this is where you need to be. So in context of money, there's the relation of age and salary, money, that if you are 25, you should be making this much money, or you should be employed, right? Or if you are like this is the standard body type for men and women. So it's like we have been given a format. So when we are desperate to reach a point, to reach a goal, we are coming from a space where we are giving away our power into other people, where we are trying to do something to gain others' validation. But when we accept ourselves, when we practice self-acceptance, it's about we cut off that validation wires. We stop giving away our power into other people's hand and take it back into our own selves. Because the insecurity always happens with in relational factor. So if I'm insecure about something, it is because I have a certain ideal image in my own self, that this is the perfect thing, this is the standard type where I should have been. So insecurities always happen in with relation to something, with relational to other people. But when it comes to self-acceptance means that you cut off that relation, you come back into your own body, and you take away the power in your own hand. You reclaim your power. You become the powerful person. You stop giving somebody else power to define your worth, to define how good you are, to define how valuable and worthy you are, or how capable you are as a person. And that is a very powerful thing, because when you practice self-acceptance, it means that you have realized your own power and you have taken it back. So now the work that you're doing, it's like I'm fine where I'm right now, but I'm willing to do this work because I believe that's the potential of that's where I can go. So it's about finding more of you instead of wanting to be at a place so that I can satisfy other people, so that I can have this particular image of my own self in front of other people. Yes, so self acceptance is that, am I willing to accept myself in this version? Am I willing to accept myself when I look this way, when I earn only this much money, when I'm unemployed, or all of these stuffs? All right, so yes, so I was talking about few steps that actually helps you, and that actually helps you look at self acceptance in a tangible way, so that you can get started with, okay, how do I self accept myself if there are certain ways. So here are two ways I which I believe that are steps that actually makes it easy for you to self accept. So how I like to say that self acceptance at the end of the day is, it's like a decision that now I want to accept myself, that I accept myself, a decision. Now a decision that will only come easy to you when you have done these two things. First is understanding yourself, and I often talk about it whenever I'm talking about self acceptance or confidence. I always talk about these things because this is how it happens. You cannot have self acceptance until you practice these two steps, which is understanding yourself and forgiving yourself. And you cannot have self confidence unless you have practiced self acceptance, or unless you've started on that path of, okay, I want to accept myself where I am. Because confidence is just that however I am right now, in whatever way I am right now, I am willing to accept myself as it is. I'm not going to seek thousand other people's opinion, or I'm not trying to please other people. I'm not trying to fit into a perfect standard format. All right, so coming back to the point. So here are two things that you need to do that will make it easier for you to accept yourself, right? First is understanding yourself. Now, why do I say understanding yourself? Because up until now, when we are not able to accept ourselves, we are judging ourselves that, what, I look this way, I have this much of body weight, it's not acceptable, this is your fault, why are you this way, you look so chubby, all of those things. So we are judging ourselves, and when we judge ourselves, it's like I'm looking at myself from other people's eyes. I have gotten out of my own body and joined other people, and then I'm looking at myself and ridiculing myself, criticizing myself, just like other people are, just like other people have done it to me. So right now what's happening? I'm judging myself. And judgment and understanding for the self cannot coexist. So that is why I'm asking you to come from a place of understanding. Because no matter where you are, how you are right now, you know your story, right? You know why you are the way you are. And whatever we are right now, we are all a culmination of what events have happened in our life. Have all the events, or the way I've lived my life. So the story, my past, all of those things has led me to be here. So understanding means, so coming from a place of self understanding, I want you to come from a place where you acknowledge your story, where you understand your past, where you acknowledge your past, where you are not dismissing your story, your past, and just judging yourself, your present self. Other people can do that because they don't know your story, they don't know who you are, they don't know what you have gone through. They're only seeing this present you, the exterior you, but you know everything about yourself. So you need to get back into your own body and come from a place where you know who you are, why you are the way you are, why you are where you are right now. That would help you come from a place of compassion and understanding. Second thing is, and this is very powerful, understanding yourself is very powerful. It takes away the self-critical talk because you stop blaming yourself then. And second thing is forgiving yourself. Now, why do I say forgiving yourself? Forgiving yourself basically means that, because when we are not able to accept ourselves, it means that we have a lot of grudges against our own self. So there are a lot of things for which I am angry at my own self. There's a lot of resentment against my own self or somebody else, that they did it, that is why I'm this way, or it is my fault, or self-questioning. So I'm angry at my own self for certain things. I have a lot of grudges against my own self, that I don't look good, I can't walk properly, I don't have a good personality, and all those stuff. So when I ask you to forgive yourself, all I mean is to look at yourself from a place of compassion, understand yourself. Don't just judge yourself from your exterior or from where you are right now. Because again, come from a place of understanding. Forgive yourself, make peace with it. Let go of all the anger and resentment, which basically means that whatever you did in the past, or however you were, or however you are, accept it. forgive it, make peace with it, because being angry at your own self, it's not helping you. And when I say, forgiving yourself, it means taking out time to process those strong emotions or negative feelings that you have. Because when we when we have certain grudges against our own self, it means that we are holding on to some negative energy in our body against our own self. So it's about processing it enough, reflecting on it enough, so that we can let go of it, that energy can dissipate from our body, from us. So yes, these are the two things that actually it actually makes it easier for you to self accept, to practice self acceptance. So yeah, these were the two things which I actually, which actually made sense to me. When I get to see that, okay, self love means letting go of what is right now. So self love means that I let go of self criticism, self hatred. It becomes much easier, because now at least I have an idea that I don't have to look outside, that it's not about taking bubble baths or doing something fancy, but it's rather about me going deeper into my thoughts, my feelings that I have right now. All right, and letting go of the negative, unhelpful and limiting beliefs. So when I look at self love this way, it feels much more easy and much more accessible and much more tangible, that okay, now I understand what it is, how it is. All right guys, so this was it for today. I'm going to keep it till here. And if you want to have a call with me, if you feel that, okay, because I help people who have an unhealthy self-esteem. And unhealthy self-esteem basically means when the way you think and feel about yourself is quite unhealthy. So when you don't feel comfortable in being yourself, when there's a lot of fear, when there's a lot of hesitation that you feel in your own self, which can also show up as shyness, that okay, I feel a lot of shy, or all of these things. And at the same time you feel that I feel it in my bones that I have the potential, that there's so much thing that I can do, but it's this fear that holds me back. So I would love to help you. So to book a call with me, you can book a clarity call with me. I do offer a 60-minute free clarity call at present. To book the call, you can just DM me coaching on my WhatsApp, and if you are watching me on YouTube, just join that group first, and from there you can always DM me coaching. All right then, bye bye, I'll see you tomorrow.